Hello.
Hi guys. Today me and Pelle are going to talk about the Logosol chainsaw mills and chainsaw mills in general.
Yeah.
Actually, because we believe that a chainsaw mill is much better than a cheap bandsaw mill. It cuts straighter.
Yeah.
It's easier to maintain. You don't need some special equipment to sharpen the chain.
It's easy to move.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You get a high quality chainsaw mill for the same amount as a cheap bandsaw mill.
Yeah.
With that said, when do you choose a chainsaw mill?
I would say if you're looking to do some milling for your own use, it's actually an ideal sawmill because it's easy to move around if you need to. It's easy to set up. The cutting equipment is very easy to maintain. It's like a normal chain. It just has a different angle.
Yeah, and if you've had a chainsaw since before, you know how to handle a guide bar and a chain.
Yeah, you know how to maintain the cutting equipment.
So it's easy to get started with chainsaw milling.
Yeah.
Up to a certain dimension, of course.
Yeah.
And today we are looking on the Logosol F2 and F2 Plus chainsaw mills. So let's start with looking at the F2.
Yep.
Buying a chainsaw mill from Logosol is a really good investment. The chainsaw mill is made of
Aluminium.
It's light yet strong.
Yeah.
And it doesn't rust.
It's very easy to maintain it. Very few parts actually that you have to replace as wear parts on the chainsaw mill.
And it's very versatile.
Yeah.
With a lot of different accessories and attachments. The F2 and the F2 Plus both come in a standard length of 4 meters.
Yeah.
But thanks to the, modular design, it's easy to extend both the guide rail or the guide rail and an extra log lifter, for example. And it will actually keep its value for a long time.
Yeah.
And we also see that the second-hand value on Logosol chainsaw mills is really, really high.
Yeah.
But Pelle, the F2 or the chainsaw mill does have some very nice features.
Yeah. You have a ratchet system here. So the ratchet system moves in 1/4 inch steps. And the reason for that is that the curve of the chain is 1/4 inch with these low profile chains. So for example, if you want to cut a 1-inch board, you raise it 4 steps for the thickness and 1 step for the curve. So 5 clicks and you get a 1-inch board. And if you want a 2-inch board, for example, you raise it 9 steps instead.
So super intuitive.
Yeah.
Easy to understand and easy to calculate with the curve.
And they're always fixed steps. So once you put them on the same level, you
always get the same thickness, the same dimension.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
Yeah.
And because we have 2 different log lifters or separate log lifters, we can actually adjust for the taper in the log.
Yeah.
By keeping the log lifters on different heights. The F2 sawmill can handle logs up to 50 centimeters in diameter. Or what's that in inches? It's like 20 inches.
Yeah.
Every chainsaw mill comes with these really good clamps, the Log Clamp XL, and this actually fits the older chainsaw mills as well. It's good in that way, in that sense that you can tilt them down. They can get really low, down to 1.5 inch. Then you can have them really high as well for larger logs and for when you're edging boards. You just push them against the log lock it with the handle and then use the lever and to like press it against the log, and it's super secure, both in terms of turning and pushing the log back and forth. So it sits very well.
And it's really handy if you want to edge off the sideboards as well. If you want to maybe edge off 4 or 5 sideboards in one go, they're perfect to tilt up then.
Yeah, if you have them on the upright position.
Yeah,
they give a good support. I agree. So let's we can turn this
around.
The thing you'll notice with a Logosol chainsaw mill is actually the ergonomics. It's super easy to handle the log. The log is always in a very good position. As you noticed, we could turn the log easy from up here. Yet when you're loading, you can have the log beds down here. And for example, have a log table in the front and just roll the log on and lift it up. But this is actually super good because it's very fast and easy to turn logs, even larger logs. But anyway, that's the F2. And that's the lifting system Pelle talked about. And now when we actually have a sawn surface in the bottom, we need to have them on the same height. And for that,
6 inches here.
We have a scale and an indicator on the inside here. So that's 6 inches. So now we have them on the same level. We'll talk a bit more about the different chainsaw options. But first, let's go over and look at the F2 Plus.
Yeah.
The F2 Plus looks a bit different than the F2, but not that big of a difference in reality. It can handle larger logs, of course. Logs up to 70 centimeters or 29 inches in diameter.
Yeah. And you can see the log lifters here are a little bit longer, so they're about 4 inches longer. And then what you call it, the lifting system.
The lifting system has an extra pulley.
Yeah.
You're stronger, so you can lift these heavier logs.
Yeah.
And also the log bed is designed to be even sturdier than on the F2, so that it can actually handle logs up to 70 centimeters.
Yeah.
But this one is a bit different than the F2 we were looking at.
Yeah, we can see this one has a third lifter. So this is a 5-meter version with a third lifter, and that means that you can cut short pieces if you want to. You can cut a little bit longer just using the 2 lifters, and then you can cut the full length, which is about 4.7 meters. It makes it a very diverse saw bench in a sense, because you can do a lot of different things.
And also with 3 log lifters, you get better precision when milling longer logs.
Yeah, and there's also another difference.
And that's the guide rail assembly can actually be taken apart and lifted from the log lifters. So you actually undo 4 bolts here and here, and you can lift the top part off and keep it intact and set up, which means that if you're putting it away for the season, you can just hang it up on the wall, or for portability, it's easier to transport on a boat or in a pickup or whatever. So that's an advantage for the F2 Plus. The extension we were talking about is also the same for the F2. Since it's modular like this, you can build it together in different versions or different lengths. So that's also really good with the F2 Plus and how you can take it apart like that. And it's easy to set up as well if you want to disassemble the F2 in that sort of way. We're talking about a bit more assembly afterwards and setting it up again. But the F2 Plus, it's straightforward to take apart and set up on a new job site or whatever. So.
And as you mentioned earlier as well, with that you can, a standard 4-meter version can even be shortened.
So again, modular design makes it possible to build in different configurations. So you can actually have a really short sawmill designed to handle short logs like fruit trees and special smaller trees that you take care of. For carpentry, for example.
Yeah.
But let's head over to the chainsaws. We have a chainsaw Carriage here with the steel MS661 chainsaw, which is the chainsaw that we recommend really well for the... It works well for the F2 and F2 Plus chainsaw mills. It's a strong chainsaw. It's 90 cc's and 7.5 horsepower, and it really makes all the difference in the world, because chainsaw milling is much more fun when you have a powerful chainsaw. You can also fit Husqvarna chainsaws on there. The 395, 592, for example, are good models to choose from. The chainsaw Carriage always comes with the chainsaw. When you purchase an F2 or an F2 Plus, you always get the chainsaw Carriage together with your mill. But let's have a look at how the chainsaw is fastened. So this is the guide bar bolts, or actually the spacer nuts that we provide, the Logosol nuts or bolts.
There.
So that's the nuts that actually sit on the chainsaw. And these are the spacer nuts / bolts that you get with the chainsaw Carriage. So it's a standard M8 thread on the outside and on the inside. So you actually take away the guide bar nuts here and replace them with the Logosol nuts, so that you can attach it to the chainsaw Carriage. And then you actually use the same nuts to attach it to the Carriage. A very easy and reliable system to hold the chainsaw firmly when using the Carriage on the chainsaw mill.
There.
And as you can see on this chainsaw Carriage, it's actually equipped with bar nose steering and the hand crank.
Over here we have a different solution where you stand in the same position all the time. So here you have a chain and a sprocket at each end, and then you attach each end of the chain to a bracket here on the saw Carriage, and that allows you to stand in the same position and run the saw. And you have a throttle cable here and a clamp. So when I push the throttle here, where I have my hand here, I push the throttle here, it'll move the throttle on the chainsaw. There.
Super nice upgrade if you have the chainsaw Carriage already. If you get the remote crank feed for your petrol mill, it's an awesome solution.
Definitely.
Because you don't have to stand in the sawdust or in the exhaust fumes.
And very little vibrations as well when you're not holding the saw.
A really, really nice solution that we're really, really proud of.
Yeah.
It's super nice to use, and it cuts great. This is actually the same type of chainsaw. This is the Steel 661.
Yeah.
So, but Pelle, let's give it a go.
Give it a go. Yep.
There, super nice. And also check out the surface finish you get with these ripping chains. On this mill we have a Canon guide bar and a ripping chain from steel. The surface is excellent. And we want to do one more board on this side. So we'll just lift it up. 5 clicks, which is 4 clicks for an inch, 4/4 of an inch, and then the last click is for the curve.
Yep. You can see here.
Really nice surface. I actually think that the surface with the chainsaw mill is slightly better than with the bandsaw mill.
Yeah.
I mean, the bandsaw mill surface is also good, but still, the chainsaw or the chain leaves a bit nicer surface. So, but this is a great upgrade, the remote drive for the petrol chainsaw. And talking about upgrades, let's have a look at the 3-phase electric chainsaw. That's a totally completely different upgrade than a remote drive on the petrol saw, isn't it?
For sure, yeah.
I mean, a 3-phase motor, either 4.6 kilowatt or 8 kilowatt. Super strong electric motors. They will aim to cut as fast as possible all the time. And you can choose with 2 different feed options.
Yeah.
We have, here is the remote feed, same as we had on the petrol chainsaw. As you can see, it's the exact same solution, but we have the electric box here instead of the throttle for the petrol chainsaw.
Yeah.
It comes with the same type of guide bar mount as the steel chainsaws, which means that if you have a chainsaw already, you can use the same cutting equipment for your electric saw.
That's kind of perfect if you're starting out with a 661 or different steel chainsaw with a 303 mount, 3003 mount.
Yeah.
You can use the same cutting equipment if you make a more stationary mill, for example.
And you can use it out in the forest. with the petrol chainsaw, and then when you take it home, you can have the 3-phase motor at home.
Yeah.
And you can still use the same cutting equipment, which is great. It's also equipped with the oil pump, same type of oil pump as you see on the larger steel chainsaws. So this was the remote drive. We of course have a, what do you call that?
The manual.
The manual crank feed.
Yeah.
Where you actually walk along the electric saw. Same as...
They'd be actually very similar to...
Very similar to the hand crank system we have on the petrol chainsaw. Or basically the same type of system.
And then you have a starter box here.
Yeah, and then you walk along your chainsaw. So those are the two options that we have, but still an electric chainsaw is a really good upgrade. Whether you choose the manual crank feed or the remote crank feed.
Yeah.
It's a super nice upgrade for your chainsaw mill. So, but let's turn this log around and prepare for making a cut. What height do you set it at?
4 inches here.
4 inches. Do you think I need to lower the this one perhaps?
Ah, yeah. Maybe a little bit, yeah. All right, so you just push down the safety and then start on the green. There.
We mentioned the power and the speed. It's quite different compared to a petrol chainsaw. Even if you compare it to the 661, this 4.6 kilowatt motor is still cuts faster than that. But there are other advantages, of course, such as the volume. It doesn't make that much noise, and also the obvious, we're not standing in any fumes, exhaust fumes. So it's a more pleasant milling experience.
It's very neat if you build a little shed for your sawmill and have an electric saw, because then you don't want a lot of fumes in there.
No, exactly. It's a good, environmental friendly and easy to use upgrade.
Yeah.
The electric chainsaw. It comes in a few different types. We have the 4.6 and the 8 kilowatt in terms of power, but we have one 3-phase 400 volt and one 3-phase 230 volt, and they are both 50 hertz, so they will work all over Europe.
Yeah.
I actually think that the best thing you can do when you have a chainsaw mill set up stationary and when you move it along, these planks in the bottom makes all the difference.
Yeah.
If you're setting it up on an uneven surface.
Yeah.
So having planks in the bottom helps a lot and makes it much easier to set it up and get a good cutting result.
Yeah, and especially when you start to load on the logs, when you get weight on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we recommend it in the manual as well.
Yeah.
To use planks in the bottom under the log lifters. So that's all from us here at Logosol. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
I hope you found this video informative and that we covered everything that you need to know in regards to chainsaw mills and Logosol chainsaw mills. Take care.
Yeah.
See you next time.
All the best.
Bye.
Bye bye.